So I have lived in Korea for 2 years now, and I will explain in this video why I will never move back to the UK. So you're probably thinking, why? Why did I move away from the UK? Well, life in England was very depressing for me, to be honest. I felt like I wasn't achieving anything. I felt like I was too comfortable. I felt like I wasn't growing as a person and that I would be stuck in my hometown forever. Now, as much as I like my hometown, which is Nottingham, for me, in order to actually have a great life in this world, and I want to have great memories to tell someone, because I remember I saw this TikTok, to be honest, that said, what if you're dying? What story would you tell the person that is meeting you on your deathbed? And to be honest, to that question, I didn't know what story I would tell, because my life was very boring. I just went to school, I went to college, and then I went to university. That's it. That's all I did. I didn't do anything other than that. So I was thinking about this question, and I thought, I really want a good story to tell. So I decided that I want to have more experiences and try something new and have a fun story to tell. Even if it ends up bad, even if I move to a different country and I really hate it, at least that it'll be a funny and interesting story to tell someone, especially on my deathbed. Now, I always get asked this, especially by Korean people. They're always fascinated why choose Korea. There's so many countries, especially in Asia, to choose from, especially to study at or to teach English. But why Korea? Well, I always have 3 reasons for this question. To be honest, the first reason is probably the most important one, and that was because my friend lives here in South Korea and he teaches English in South Korea, and he recommended it to me. Now, I want to act all cool and say, yeah, I wasn't scared at all. I didn't think twice about moving to Korea, but to be honest, I was very nervous, and at first I didn't want to move because I have a friend that actually lives here in South Korea. I decided that I want to take the leap of faith and try living here, at least for 1 year, just to try out. But then, if I don't like it, I can always move back or go to a different country. Now, second reason. During COVID, in England, we could not leave our house. Well, we could, but just like once a day. So we were stuck inside our homes most of the time. And at this time, I was watching the show called Running Man, which is this Korean reality show. And I learned a lot about the Korean culture and Korean celebrities and the Korean food. So because of this show, I became more interested in Korea, and I wanted to at least travel to Korea. I didn't know about living here, but I at least wanted to travel. And at this time also, I just want to mention I was listening to K-pop as well, which got me into the show Running Man. The final reason was the one that made me actually decide to move as soon as possible, was the fact that at this time Russia just started invading Ukraine. So because of this war, I thought, wow, life is too short and I could die very soon and have no story to tell and nothing to remember. And we only have, as far as I know, I don't know what happens after death, but as far as I know, we really have one life. So I want to live it to the most. And so that's why I came to Korea. Now, obviously, just like you probably had some worries about moving to Korea or moving to another country in general. How do they treat people from other countries, like foreigners? What about the language barrier? What about knowing no one or just one person? What about being lonely? Here's my experience to that. For the first few months, I was very fascinated and amazed by this country. I was very surprised by how comfortable it is to live here. I actually was surprised that I didn't get homesick in the first few months too. And so first few months went by really fast, but between the third and 6th month, I became lonely because I realized my only friends at this time were living with my English friend back in another city in Korea. So in Seoul, where I live, I didn't have many friends. Well, I didn't have any friends in Seoul except for my friend's mom. That's all I knew until I joined this language exchange, and then I met many great people, many great friends. I should probably go on this side. Okay, I'll turn around. But yeah, I met many great people, many great friends, and then I started feeling less lonely. And my worry is also, like, what if I get homesick? Well, to be honest, if you're like me, I used to always get homesick back in university, so I'd always travel from London to Nottingham, or from Lincoln to Nottingham, because I was always homesick. So I was really worried about this, because obviously it's a really long flight to go back home if I regret it. But I actually didn't feel homesick. I kept in touch with my family. I had a friend that lives here, and overall I was just amazed by how much I enjoy living in this country. There's so much to do, and yeah, I was always, to be honest, I always kept busy as well, because like I needed to settle down, I needed to study some Korean so I could speak Korean, and then I was just overall busy, so my mind wasn't really focused on the UK. And the reasons why I'm staying in Korea, so I'm not going back to England. I've decided like I already go back to visit, and my family know this too. But what made me want to stay in Korea? Well, Korea, one, even with the language barrier, is very comfortable and convenient place to live. Many people can speak English, or you can use a translator to help, and many people are very helpful and friendly. Second reason is very affordable. The cost of living here is very affordable compared to the UK, where it'll be where you struggle to even buy coffee at a coffee shop. Whereas here in Korea, it costs like $2 to buy coffee, which is amazing. And the wage is actually very similar to the UK too. There's many like pretty places to visit. I can never get bored of even just this city alone. Like Seoul is such a big city that you can visit so many districts in Seoul, and they're quite different from each other, and they have different specialties to the cities too, which I really liked. So I want to mention that the most like important thing, the biggest pro of Korea by far is safety. I've never felt so safe in a country before. Like in England, I could not leave the house at 8 p.m. My mom would worry. I mean, I would leave the house at 8, but I wouldn't be 100% safe, and I wasn't secure. So like even my friends, like even as soon as the sun sets, we worry about leaving the house to go to the gym or walking through this dodgy street. Whereas here, I can walk through many small streets and not feel anything, not feel like scared or worried. The safety is like, I think Korea especially, I don't know about other countries in Asia, but I know that Korea and Japan are probably the safest countries that I know of, especially a country to live in too. So that's the biggest pro. Yeah, so obviously safety is the biggest one. It's a very comfortable place to live. Everything's open till late. It's so convenient. Like the convenience stores open till late, cafes. There's so much to do after work, because in the UK you work from 9 to 5 usually, right? And after 5 the cafes close, and then the closed stores, they close around 6 to 8 o'clock. So after 8 there's nothing to do other than go to the pub. That's why so many like English people drink, because that's how they socialize. And another thing about socializing is Korean people are very social. They like to make friends, they like to drink and eat together as like groups of friends or families, which I find really nice. I think honestly that's one of my favorite things about Korea, is how social it is. Like I'm an introvert, right? I like my own space, but I also like meeting friends. And in England I'd have very small friendship groups, whereas in Korea my friendship groups, to be honest, are very big. Like we would go out together, drink and eat food together as like groups of 10 or 12. So honestly it feels like a movie. Like it generally does. My life feels like a movie right now. So I couldn't recommend moving to another country anymore. For me as well, I've noticed that when I feel uncomfortable, when I feel scared about doing something, about choosing something, that's when I know I should choose it. Because every time I felt uncomfortable, for example, right now I'm making a YouTube video, I feel very uncomfortable because many people are looking at me. But I know that in the future, good things will come to me because of this channel. This channel is going to help me like I'm hoping that this channel is going to help me become a freelancer and have my own business and not have to work for a boss. And this channel will help me stay in Korea longer too. So if you're thinking about moving to another country, especially Korea, and you're scared, then in my opinion, that's why you should go. If you feel scared or comfortable, that's when you should go. Your body's lying to you, but your body wants you to be comfortable. It will think of all of the cons that you can think of to not move to a different country. But what's there to lose? You just move to another country, you don't like it, you can move back. There's nothing holding you in that country, so just try. Yeah, for me the pros weigh out the cons so much. Like, I actually enjoy living in this country so much compared to England. I really did not enjoy it. The only thing that was keeping me in England was my family and friends. But I realized that my family and friends, they wouldn't be happy if I was not happy. They wouldn't want to see me depressed all the time. Like, obviously my family miss me, but they're very happy for me that I'm enjoying this life here, and they like to brag about it too, which is quite funny. But I'd say also my plans for the future, so that I can stay in Korea. To be honest, it is quite hard for a foreigner to live in Korea for a long time and get good pay, because there's not many jobs or visas that you can get without getting married in Korea to get a good job or get a good visa. So I'd recommend that if you think about staying in Korea for a long time like me, study Korean and try to get fluent at it so it can raise your points. Like, there's a point system for the visa where you can do like charity work, or like if you stay in Korea for a certain amount of time you get more points, and basically the more points you get, the better visa you can get too. Or if you want, you can get married to a Korean person. However, for me, I don't want to be, let's say, restricted to only dating a certain type of person and marrying them. As for me, I don't know who I will marry in the future, but I'm not going to restrict it to just Korean people. To me, it's kind of strange, and yeah, I don't want to do that. So I don't mind whether they're from America, Canada, Japan, England, France, Switzerland, Korea. I don't care. As long as I like that person, I would want to marry them. So I don't want to marry a person just for visa's sake. It's weird. So if you have any concerns about moving to another country, especially Korea, feel free to comment them down below. Ask any questions you want. Any worries that you have, I can try to answer to the best of my ability. Especially for Korea, I don't know about other countries that well, but especially for Korea, I can answer from my experience, my personal experience. Obviously, my experience as a white man from England, from an English-speaking country, my experience might be different from someone who is from a country that does not speak Korean or English. It might be much harder to live, and yeah, so I can only say from my experience. But it's so bright. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope you enjoyed the view of like Han River in the background too. I know you can't really see it this much, but it's very busy on this path. But here's the view. Here's what I can see. This is like, I'd say 20 minutes away from my house, so it's crazy. 20 minutes on the train. Wow. Ooh.